Hello, hello. We're back in the story. Oh yeah. Where's OBS? Where'd that guy go? Wow. Okay, last time we made an oven, made some bread, made bronze, and looked for iron. Which was very... yes. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna do some more iron, we're gonna try to... I don't know, capture some chickens? Are there eggs? Scrambled eggs? With cheese and vegetables? Yeah. And the bronze anvil. And a bigger farm. We are filthy rich. Not really. Shitty Tinker's Forge? Damn. Don't insult my forge like that. Only used for heating up ingots anyways. Where's my axe? Not in my inventory, clearly. I put some trash away. Things and stuff. That too. Make some meat. It's probably not enough, but see. Okay, so what are we gonna do today? Actually gonna try and find some iron. We went over like all of these spots. There was no iron nearby, so a lot of hills over here, but there. But then again, we also don't have to use hills. Just easier that way. We you know what? Let's check in this area. Why not? That doesn't hurt to check. No, not the Minecraft. Or hate this. 1, 2, 3, 5. Sure. I'm gonna need some more blocks actually. Okay, you weren't here last time. I'll just go over real quick what we're doing. The prospecting pig is able to pick up ore nodes and like a huge radius. And in order to get samples, you need to be like 5 blocks-ish away. And just hit a rock. And once you've done that and did that 3 times, the prospecting pig will say, oh, this is actually nearby, this isn't, there's a little bit of that. And well, as it says right here, 0 traces of ore, so there's nothing here. And we basically did that like all over the place here. It's like very poor emerald, minuscule amount of sphalerite, magnetite. You know. It's where iron? Magnetite would be iron. But minuscule amount means it's like maybe 1 or 2 blocks. So it's like good luck finding that one. I think iron is like magnetite and hematite. It's like in Rectech. That's actually exactly why I was like, wait, I'm looking for tin, but there is no tin ore nearby. But it's supposed to be common. It's like, then I realized, wait, cassiterite is tin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very poor sphalerite, minuscule amount of cassiterite, hematite, and cinnabar. That is basically useless. There's also quartz here. Yeah, I mean, if you also click on that, it's like smelts into iron bloom. Rated by smelting in bloom, and it's going down the list. It's like limonite, magnetite, hematite. That's the 3 ones. That's not good. Oh, I didn't want to pick it up, I wanted to break it. Brown coal. So the general idea is to check like every 30 blocks. Let's see, does this minus 140? Yeah, we could check this mountain right here as well. Like, it's a really cool idea, but I think it... I personally think it should show the ore nearby, if you're nearby. 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, there are 2 modes. There's this long-range search and this node search mode, which in standard settings is 6 blocks. I upgraded to 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you use that, it's basically gonna say like, oh, this is nearby. But it's not gonna tell you where. Which, to be fair, you could say, okay, it's 8 blocks. You know it's 8 blocks, like, come on. Very poor cinnabar, minuscule. What is cinnabar actually? It's like lead-ish. Crushed cinnabar. Red dye. Boring. Let's go over here. Let's get a new weapon. It's a Phelps. I would say I don't know what that is, but I have it in my hand. So it's like, we want to check here. Why not? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very poor hematite. Sure. Why not? Hematite is pretty deep usually. Or like, basically every ore is deep inside the mountain now. I'm a bit concerned that these blocks are cracked already, so... I also need to... turn this bad boy on in a second here. Come on. That am I offhand. Let's... I mean, we're probably not even near close enough, but might as well try. No ore, not yet. Yeah. Like I said, those types of ore are always pretty deep. Last time I found one node was with cassiterite, the tin. And it was like so deep that the temporal gear was already getting reduced. So that was pretty deep. Like the temporal gear in the middle, the status only drops if you're near rifts. I think if you get hit by those mobs, and if you're very deep inside caves. Oh, and during temporal storms, we didn't have one yet because I made those a bit rarer because they're just annoying. Like imagine the Blood Moon from Terraria or something, but they can't break your door and there are like a lot of monsters nearby, and you can't sleep with standard settings. That's just I'd rather not deal with that, or at least not as often. You can also turn that entire system off, by the way, like the temporal gear and stuff. I don't know why you should, but you can. Music getting spooky, but which means we are basically underground now. Like officially underground. So funny, because usually your main idea is like, oh, I need this ore, I'll just go into a cave. But let me tell you, caves are death traps in this game. Like, actually. I was like, okay, I'll just make some provision, like some basic bitch chest armor out of wood, and like, I got food, I got a weapon, I got a bow, I got a torch. Let's try it out. And even with that basic armor, I died in 2 hits. It's like, yeah, I guess I shouldn't be here. More note nearby. What we could... Skill issue? True. Just dodge? Yeah, I should have just dodged. Is that a dodge button? I'm actually not sure if there's a dodge button in this game. But yeah, I should have just weaved. But you can also always tell which enemies deal a lot of damage when you look at them and you see the tooltip, quote unquote. It'll always give you like a damage tier. And obviously, the higher the number, the stronger the enemy. Like wolves and bears are damage tier 2 by default, so yeah, they'll rip you to shreds. I also have no idea how to like properly mine for these ores. So far I've always been like, oh, it says it's like this percentage nearby. I'll just dig down now. Like the percentage behind the like very poor hematite, 0.32%. It's like out of 1,000 block radius or something, 0.32 blocks are bad. I've always been lucky, or being nearby where it says that it's a good idea or something. I don't know. I haven't looked anything about that up. Give it another try. That's why I'm always like, if you look at the minimap, I'm always like trying to go back to that circle while still going down. It's not like, oh, he's just being smart, he's trying to, you know, not fall down or something. It's no, I'm just digging, but in an oval, basically. Actually not that deep yet, by the way. Our temporal status hasn't been draining yet. Also the prospecting pick, when you use that long range thing that creates that dot on a minimap, it ignores the height. So when it says, oh, it's this much nearby, it checks everything nearby. So that's pretty nice, at least. I think we are gonna get some drainage soon. Yeah. It's slowly starting to go counterclockwise. Yeah, anything nearby. Go a little bit back. I don't want to go too deep to drain my status that much already. Yeah, I think this is a decent depth. There's certain effects that happen after your status reaches like a certain threshold. I think the first thing that happens at like 74% or something like that. Spellerite. The first thing that'll happen is that you get the temporal storm effect. Like there's a screen effect that happens. And you start getting that everywhere. Then at like 50%, enemies will start spawning around you. Like, permanently. And I can't remember the third effect. There's a third one, but if it reaches 0, you're getting teleported into the Rust world. Which I haven't been to yet. All it said was that it's like full of insanely strong monsters and stuff. Yeah, you're forced to play Rust at that point. With PvP always enabled, and you are always getting spawn trapped. I think I have seen a screenshot in a loading screen. The Rust world. It looked cool, but the monsters there look scary as hell. I mean, I do have to say, the monsters in this game, that's some good-ass design. Let's check again. Hematite, large amounts. That's really good. Large amounts even. 3, 4, 5. Remember, it's a search radius of 8. 5. 1. 3. Okay. Could also be below or above us. It's fine. Maybe I'll just stick to 5 first. I don't think it's above us. And it doesn't know to check. So it's probably below us, maybe. I think that's it. Peridotite rock? What? Check here again. Oh wait. Probably check here now. Hematite, large amounts. Olivine, medium amounts. The hell is olivine? Actually, we can check. Olivine. Turns into 1 crushed olivine, smelts into green glass. So it's basically just quartz. What's in green? Yeah. Hematite trace amounts. Okay, so we're going the wrong way. Maybe it's in this direction, actually. The thing is, our pickaxe is probably gonna break before we get it all in or something. But at least we know where it is. If it says there's a large amount nearby still, it might be above us now. Probably not. Trace amounts. Wait, what? Very large amounts. But where? Show me the ore. I think it could be below us still. Mantle requires tool tier 196 to break. I think we reach bedrock. Okay. Oops. Guess we can't go deeper than that. Hematite, small amounts. Okay, now we're too deep. So oh, there it is. Quality bountiful. God damn. Dot what? Bruh. Thank you. I don't have my hammer, do I? It's really funny, since it says it's hematite, right? But if you look at it, it says iron ore. It also has hematite and granite, so. Also, it said very large amounts. So, just lying or? Very large amounts still. large amounts. Bit annoying. Okay. I really wish I had another copper pick nearby with us. Yes. Very large amounts nearby here. Okay. Pretty sure it's just on this floor, basically. But I'm not gonna leave anything to chance. There's some more. Not the spooky music. Very large amount still. See, that's what I mean. I wish the tool would give you like... It doesn't have to be like a full highlight or anything, just like maybe like a small ping where they are. Like a white dot appearing for a second and then slowly disappearing. That would be hella useful. Very large amount. Maybe we've just been unlucky. We're basically just at like the edge of the huge node. We just don't find it. Very large still. This must be some huge ass node that we're not seeing because I can't find it. It has to be. Okay, okay. We're getting somewhere now. Hey. Can I have that? There she goes. That's fine. Just gonna have to return later. By later, I mean, once we make a new bronze pickaxe. And a copper one, for good measures. What's the time? Very late. 8 o'clock even. Okay, the only reason I upgraded the anvil to iron, by the way, the bronze is for iron. You cannot use a copper anvil for iron stuff. Which is unfortunate, but you know. Makes sense. Temporal status is increasing again. Ah, God. Oh. Let's go home. Something evil pops up. Like that chick over there. That's evil incarnate. I heard that. Probably a boar. But you'll never know on forests and stuff. Can I have that? Nom 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 nom. Nom nom nom. I forgot to close the door. I got surprised more than once in my home already. Just because I left the door open. Like, oh yeah, I was gonna do that real quick. All of a sudden, one of those things that are like from the ring crawling around in there. I'm like, holy shit. To be fair, it might have just spawned there because the torch was out, but... Jump scare, dude. Okay, we need our hammer that's about to break. 8. Why are they not stacking? Oh, because one is granite, the other is peridotite. No, my hammer. We need a new hammer, obviously, and a new pick. Ruh-roh. Oh. Let me open the wiki real quick for the bronze. 18 copper, 2 tin is 1 ingot. A good thing we have 36. Gosh, dang it. Pink funk. Oh wait. Did we smell that guy back to copper? No? Maybe? I don't know. What if I place him in here? Is it gonna say something? Can't. Fine. Hmm. We... Like a bronze pick, grab more copper. Do I have tin? I have a little bit of tin left. Yeah, I mean, what else are we gonna do, right? It's 18 to 2. Like that. We'll need some more charcoal. It's unfortunate. Oh wait. Can brown coal get that hard? (1100 degrees). Yeah. Let there be fire. It's hella lit. Duration 77 seconds. 40 seconds. Okay. So brown coal burns longer, but not as much. Turnips. Delicious turnips and onions. And carrots and flax. What's the saturation? Yeah. I actually have no idea if you actually have to like kinda look out for this, but so far I haven't seen a reason to do so. Boink. Boinkus, ploinkus. Boinkus, splodoinkus. Give me the bronzes. Gimme. Oh, wait. Where's my tongs? I need that. I want to burn my hands. That thing is piping hot. Pickaxe. There we go. That's gonna take a bit. Let's get rid of some of these trees, yeah? Especially birch. At least this birch doesn't look like too bad, but it's still birch, so. We hate birch around here. Actually, that reminds me. What do the planks look like? That's not too bad. But this is acceptable. Actually, kind of want to know what the orange wood over there is. I think that could be pine, maybe? What this? Acacia. Okay. I mean, it had to be either acacia or pine. I know pine is also rather orange in this, but not like that orange. Can I grab that? Fire wobei. Okay, we actually do have a decent amount of iron at the moment. Like, the annoying part about iron isn't necessarily finding it. It's making it actually into iron. Which is why I spent on my other save like an hour on figuring that out. Like, I knew what I had to do, but I didn't know there was a different way to do it as well. I'll show in a second here. Wrapped up. The way to do iron is we need to make a bloomery, which you just slap that iron in, throw in some charcoal, light that sucker up, and wait. Once it's done, you break the bloomery, and out pops the iron bloom, which you then have to heat up in the forge, put on anvil, make to ingot. Then you can use ingot to make tools and stuff. Easy enough, right? The thing is, bloomeries are built with fire clay. Same thing as this clay oven. And we have a little bit of fire clay. What my first problem was when I was trying to figure out how to get fire clay. I looked it up. I was like, how do fire clay? Because powdered calcined flint is one method, the easiest method, basically. But when I first tried to get this, I was like, oh, it's powdered flint. I'll put the flint in this thing. Which didn't work, because you don't put the flint in and then grind it. You heat up the flint in a fire pit and then put that product in this. But at first I was like, okay, that didn't work, because who smells flint? right? I was like, okay, where would I find fire clay then? And everywhere on the internet it's like, oh, you need to find a bauxite biome. And very rarely it's in there. I was like, oh, guess I'll have to search for one. And then I spent an hour searching. I was like, this can't be it. Then I asked someone who plays this game a lot, and they were like, yeah, don't do that. I'm like, damn. Because what you can also do is you can have this be powered by like windmills and stuff. And I was like, okay, it didn't grind the flint because I can't do that by hand. And they were like, no, you have to smelt that first. I'm like, oh, god damn it. Gosh dang it. But yeah. That was then, and this is now. Let's grab some more copper. Oh. M. Alright. I've actually got the copper from over here. Yeah, that basically told me that this game will always have alternative methods to acquire items. Oh, I already grabbed that. Didn't delete the... God damn it. Like, if it's not an iron ore or something, there are different ways of doing things. And that's how I learned. I'm Ilya, and welcome to Jackass. But I do like that. It's like, okay. Like, maybe you spawn in a bauxite biome, right? You... And then you obviously got the option to simply get fire clay that way. Because it's very pricey on the flints and stuff. I just realized we can't break this open. Yep, damn it. Looking for food already? It's been like 40 minutes since she got one. Something. Oh no, she was just eating the rest, I see. I like that. When the game gives you like options. It's like, oh, yeah, you can find it, and it's like, it's a little bit on the rarer side, but you can just grab it in that biome. If you know where that biome is. If not, then here, I'll give you this pricey alternative. Fine by me. I will rather spend more resources on a more expensive recipe than search for one specific biome for hours. I also still wanna grab those pigs, maybe chicken, maybe Benui. But we've just gotta get our farm going. That's why I upgraded that last time. I also wanted to stream yesterday, but I was pretty damn tired. I didn't expect that. You know, it is what it is. Happens. I barely slept, thanks to my cat, and I had to get up early. So. I'll try. This is my cat. At least she at least I managed to give her a different sleeping spot. So she's not always jumping over me and stuff. Thanks, Nightbot. By the way, that's the first message in 3 streams. Just saying. I hate Nightbot. Like those scheduled commands, they just don't work. Spelled? That's some more bread we're getting. That ain't died. Damn. Barely even did anything. So I don't know how much. We need 3 copper bits. What's that right here? Oh, we just need 1 technically. Since we can just make a bronze hammer. But yeah, today I'll definitely try to sleep a bit more. I don't want to go to the Christmas market tomorrow. It started. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to stream tomorrow. But it also depends if I get my money tomorrow, which I should. If not, I'll be angry because the last day of the month would be on Sunday. When you're playing Castle? Dude. I'm telling you, if I had a job, I'd be saving up for that now. Like, when I asked you, like, the question with the, you know, with your goal in life, I was like, I asked my flatmate that question before, and he was like, well, nothing concrete at the moment, which, you know, it's okay, right? But it's like, I told him, like, why not? Right? Why not go for that? Like, he was laughing, but I'm actually serious. Why not? it doesn't seem like that much out of reach. It's so funny. It's not. It's what, 450,000 plus 50k like first buy or whatever, and sure, the renovation and stuff that will get pricey, definitely. But also you don't have to do all of that at once, I think. And you can just say, yeah, we need these rooms done, save up some more and stuff. Yeah, but that's like, that's that. I don't like the idea of having like a huge debt. Like mortgage sounds like a huge debt. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Like it even says on that website that you can do monthly payments of like 1k. Which my flatmate could do that right now and still make money. Which is the funny part. Like if we were both working and we'd split that or like double that, you know, to get that done quicker, it's like, bro. 1k a month is not much. Yeah. But you also get that's not including the 650 that they want. But then again, 2,000 also isn't that much if you have 2 people, right? Like, what would make that even easier is if there were more people. Like if there's one or two more, you know? Okay, I think is like almost all my flatmates' money at them. I think I don't know how much it is. It's certainly way more than I make. Because I don't make money. I get money. But you know. You have 30 rooms. Yeah, just find 40 people for it. You could. You said you wanted to move out of Britain, right? That's free. You know how funny that would be? We're just like, yeah, you know what? Stevie, come on over. I don't know. Misty? Sure. Jess? Hop on in. It's like, dude. Just have everyone come in. That'd be hella funny, but that ain't gonna happen. Like I said, I'm not opposed to it. Especially if I would just find a fucking job. You know? Like I was legit sitting there and was like, man. God damn it. That also made me slightly consider streaming on Kick to make money, but I was like, nope. I'm not doing that. Sorry. I still have a little bit of principles. Like it's not that deep. But yeah, that'd be funny as hell, living in a castle. Like even like it's what 2,700 square meters, the whole property. That's a huge ass property. I think even the house itself was what 300? What 300? That's like even if you'd have like 4 people living in there, if you space it out in a certain way, you'd probably see each other like once or twice a day. That place is huge and has multiple stories. So no words in my head. Also, I don't know. It also is. It's also like it's such a weird flex to be like, yeah, I own a castle with a friend of mine. It's like, what? Yeah, we bought that. It's like kind of sick. What? It's really times like these where I wish I was like at least somewhat rich. Like even, you know, it's what I learned back in school when I learned my previous job at school. We also had stuff like politics, but you know, who cares about Swiss politics? And they also taught us about like smart leasing. Like, you know, if you're smart, you don't immediately buy a new car, because that's gonna hurt. What they did say was get a lease for a car that you could afford to buy immediately. Which I guess kinda makes sense. Like, it's not gonna hurt your bank account immediately, but you probably need to pay a bit more, depending on your lease. Which makes sense. Don't use stupid flies. Like, I don't know how realistic that is, right? But it sounded like it was the idea. But then again, it came from a Swiss person, so who knows? They also fought giving the most right-wing party in their country majority of their seats in the fucking is a good idea, but I don't want to go into politics. I'm first of all not smart enough for that, and I also don't care. Wanna know my politics? My politics is pro-life. How about that? That's apparently a very daring take nowadays. Let's bake some dough. Like I can say, like in the week where Charlie Kirk got life ended. Dude, the Discord I'm a mod in, those are some really vile people. God damn. Like, you don't have to agree with him or anything, but it's like, damn, really? A father and husband just got life ended and you're celebrating that? That's fucking disgusting. Like, one person I regularly talk to, mostly about Warframe, they left that server just because of that. Because people, it didn't matter what happened. If someone right-wing or someone not on their worldview got life ended, they would just celebrate that. And at some point it got so bad that I was like, I'm this close to asking the server owner to just ban politics completely. But yeah. In other news, the sky is blue and water is wet. People are disgusting. I think the most disgusting thing someone said was they don't feel sorry for his family that he got life ended. They feel sorry for his family that they had him as a father. Like, that is a disgusting take. You don't say that kind of shit. Alright, anyways. Back to the game. Back to more pleasant things, like... How the fuck am I gonna afford castle? I'll just make a donation goal. 440,000 bucks. I could never. My mentality actually would not allow me to do something like that. Like, anything really. I'm not someone that likes to ask someone for anything. It's a huge flaw of mine. Yeah, it's just insane. Like, I'm not even saying that you... Oh, right, we need to fire these first. I'm not even saying that you're supposed to, like, agree with him or anything. Like, you don't have to. I probably don't. I don't know his takes, but I probably wouldn't agree with them. But saying that he deserved to die is like, bro. These people clearly never heard the phrase, an eye for an eye. You know, an eye for an eye and the world goes blind. They never heard that one before. Yeah, that entire week, I was starting to feel so down. I even told my flatmate, I was like, I think I'd take a break from the internet, and he's like, why? I told him, he's like, just ignore those people. It's sure, right? It's the smart thing to do. It's like, kinda have to watch what they're doing in that server. Which sucks sometimes, but you know. One of those people was like, they started bringing up politics again, and things were getting heated, right? Because of course it's politics. And all I said was like, here we go again. And they were like, yeah, if you don't like it, then just change the rules. And I was just like, that's not even remotely how things are done in this server. I can't just go and say, yeah, just don't talk about this anymore. And we have other mods too. I can't just say, yeah, it's my rules now. It's like we would have to vote on these things and all that, and it's like, just shut the fuck up, basically. Some people are just very ignorant in these things. Check something real quick. Just a sec. Like, not to badmouth him. No, I love the guy, but even Falker was like, hell yeah, he died. And I'm like, I didn't say anything. Because I know that guy is also a fan of Hassan Piker, and I was like, when I first heard that, I was like, I told him, for the sake of our friendship, I will not bring that up anymore. Fuck that. He was like, you know what? Fair enough. Respectfully, how can you be a fan of that guy? Seriously. That dude shocked his dog. That guy is just legitimately batshit insane. Well, you know. Thinking, thinking, think funking. What do you do? Gonna wait on the bricks. Really forgot about that, otherwise I would have started that immediately. We will need more bricks. Unlock myself again. Fuck shit. I actually hate that guy. He deserves every bad thing that's happening to him at the moment. And I don't say that lightly, but he does. Fuck that guy. It's just a big pleasure that he will forever be known on the internet as the guy who shocked his dog. That will forever be his legacy. Okay. We need more fire clay. Fire clay, we need to smelt more flints. While we're currently grabbing some. I'm also starving. Just eat some bread. Maybe we have some berries around here. It'll be fun. Yeah. I was hoping for at least one drop. Yeah. Those mushrooms were saved. The poof ball. What are these sounds? I don't like these sounds. Maybe a cave underneath somewhere. Okay. So, new Final Fantasy patch soon, right? Am I right? God, I can't believe how slow they are still with the freaking patches, man. You. How are they still on a 4.5-month cycle for that stuff? And how are people still okay with it is my question. Dude, that was so funny earlier, right? You know, I had my appointment at like 10, but I was like... I actually don't know how it started. But... Actually, I can just look how it started. Oh yeah, right. I posted a picture of the next trial, which is Doom Train from Final Fantasy VIII. And I basically just said my face when I realized how much Cryotic and Warframe I still have to farm. And it's like the face of that train is like wide-eyed with like a ugh kind of face. And yeah. And Hacker was like, oh, like, what is a Final Fantasy VIII inspired fight doing my Final Fantasy IX inspired expansion? Yeah, just memeing around. And I was like, he's there because he's gonna transport us into the Final Fantasy VIII inspired expansion. Big brain. And Hacker was like, oh, right, and in the next expansion, instead of having to grind for gear, we'll have to grind for junctions to upgrade our stats, and Ultimacia, who is definitely not gonna be an Ashen, is gonna be the big evil guy. And I just said I would rather grind for like junctions like a Final Fantasy VIII than have our current shitty gear system. Right, because at least you're doing something. And, you know, Faker was like jokingly expanding a bit on it, like you could have different junctions that increase different stats and they drop from different contents, like the best junctions would like drop from EX Trials and Savage and stuff. And another person in the Discord was like, but why? We already have a gear system. It's like, that would be such a massive work and this and that. And, you know, missing the point that it's just, they could do something like that. And we're bringing up different types of content, like they could do so much more content and stuff. And just have different gear options. Like you don't have to have gear that's always crit dead or the crit direct hit. Like you don't have to only have the Bisque gear as an option, right? Like if you look at Heavensward, for example, if you remember, when Proto Ultima came out in Dunscape, I think it was. They added accessories from that 24-man, which were Savage item level. And it's like, sure, not all of those were best in slot, but those were different options that you could have. I was like, what's the harm in having the option to build meme builds? You know, think about like a freaking warrior with a GCD speed of 1.5. Why not? It's fucking 5 fell cleaves per minute without freaking in a release or anything. It's like bam, 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 bam. Or a monk with GCD speed of 1. Yes. Giving monks enhanced arrows was my favorite thing to do as an astrologian back then. And even when someone gave me that, I was like, oh no, but I... Dude. Yeah, that's the problem. They're too scared to do anything fun. And the guy in the Discord was like, yeah, but people would still just go for the Bisque gear, and that would be like such a waste of resources. I'm like, no, it wouldn't be. Like, it's more stuff. Why is it bad to have more stuff? Like, sure in like high-end content like Ultimates, those builds probably wouldn't be viable. They don't have to be viable. That's why they're meme builds. He was like, if you want just full skill speed Paladin, just melt for it or gear for it. But it's like, oh great, I can get like 2 pieces and melt everything in skill speed. You probably get down to what, 2.2 or something? No, I want full meme. I want to go down to 1.5. I want to fucking zoom as a Paladin and smacking bosses left and right and deal no damage. Who cares? It's a meme build. Like, the fact that Ice Mage is quote-unquote viable. Like, it's not optimal. Definitely not. But you can play it like that. I'm pretty sure Arthas cleared FRU as Black Mage with only casting Ice. Or Blizzard. Blizzard, Ice, you know, the Ice spells. And he never once touched any Fire spells. They cleared that fight with no problem. Why is a bear there? So why not? Or that's something simple as like set bonuses aren't even in 14. That always struck me as crazy. Or am I wrong? I mean, there are a few, very, very few, and they're mostly like, what, Eureka and some side content that no one cares about anymore. But it's like, why can't we have a set bonus? I have never seen one appear in my face. Why can't we have a set bonus for having all raid gear equipped? Why not? It doesn't have to be something crazy. Just like +5 in that main stat. Or, I don't know, your mama gets a huge dong. Whatever. Right? That's 5 weapon damage. In 14, that would actually scale pretty high. Like, weapon damage actually scales pretty high. But yeah, it's like something small. It would be insane. Yeah. It's basically +5 weapon damage. That would probably be more weapon damage you'd get from like the next 2 tiers. Well, let me check. Crafted would give +1, Tome +1, Augmented Tome +1, and then Savage another +1. Yeah, almost. Hey. In the litter box. Cleaned that before stream. Before raid, I was gonna say. Like, obviously +5 weapon damage. That's a bit much, but that's my point. Also, get rid of the fucking weekly lockout garbage. Like, no one needs that shit. At litter box. No one home. I am anything. At the litter box. Don't go on the bed. They never increase cap. I think they just unlocked Savage, like this current patch. Dude, the tier has been out for like half a year by now, and they just now unlocked it. Why? They always advocate as like, oh, one character can level every job. You can place every job on one character. Good luck gearing those jobs. It's so stupid. And then it's like, oh, but we also got the Chaotic Alliance raid this expansion. They're not, so far, they're not planning on doing more. Great, we got one of those in this entire expansion that got released a few months after the Savage tier released, so it was basically useless. And if we get more, who knows? Like, so far I've gotten mixed receptions on that. People were like, yeah, it's okay, it's like, it's fun with a full group if you have 48 people, but if you do it in PF, it's like there are way too many body checks and PF can't do that and this and that. Which, to be fair, I think the body check is like towers of 4 each, and they place like 10 at some point. Like, yeah, that's a bit much for a PF group, man. If it was like, oh, they place like 3 at most, I think that would have been totally fine. I haven't done that raid, but I also don't intend of doing it because the only reward for it would be here for FRU, and I'm done with that fight, so. So yeah. I also never really cared it to begin with. It's like, oh yeah, you can do this fight, and the set looks pretty cool. But like, I'm not gonna do that with 47 random guys. The fuck? Look, oh, look. It worked. Not on this guy though, he's dead. If there's one thing I hate in 14 is playing with randoms. As stupid as that sounds. But it's like, great. Now I have, instead of 7 other people that can mess up, I have 47 other people that can. Or was it 24? I think it was 24. It's a 24 man, so yeah, obviously it would be 24. But my point still stands. It's like, great. More idiots that can mess it up for me. Including myself. Yeah, I'm gonna have to feed my cat real quick. That's time anyways. But before we do that, we'll get this. No charcoal. But yeah, it's stupid. But of course, in most people's eyes, Square Enix can never do nothing wrong, so they never complain, nothing will get changed. Things only change when someone gets banned for it. I feel like that's the most stupid thing Anyways. Oh, this guy was showing like the debuff timers. Let's ban the guy. Next patch. Oh yeah, we added that by the way. Thanks. So stupid. I mean, it wasn't a permaban, but still. Didn't have to ban the guy for it. I mean, I kinda had to, but you know. It's just stupid. I'll go feed the cat real quick, so I'll be right back. Hello, yes, we back. Okay. Time to rant some more. I think the biggest, one of the bigger gripes, not the biggest one would be we get no fucking content in a reasonable amount of time. You can tell me whatever you want. That's like the biggest thing 14 is fucking up on. The other thing would be, why do we get gear? What's the point of having the gear? Like, seriously. Why do we even get gear? When we only get like 2 pieces of content where we can use the gear in an expansion. Get more? No. We don't need like Savage gear for that. Because the Savage gear is useless if there's no ultimate. If there's no ultimate, the next piece of gear is crafted gear. So there's no reason to get Savage gear, unless there's an ultimate. If there's no ultimate, there's no reason. Oh, true! That way you can mitigate the amount of fuck-ups PF does, because PF fucking sucks at this game. Dude, I did Expert Roulette earlier. You know, just trying to get used to the Scholar buttons, because I'm gonna be Scholar next year. And I had a Samurai in the group. Single target only. No double Midare, no Oginami Kiris, died all the time, never applied his dot. I was sitting there like, bro, I'm wasting so much MP on this guy. Hi. That was actually insane. Yeah, I've actually been having fun with like Scholar. Neko also joined the Static, so... Oh no, I thought it was Pairs instead of... Oh, I'm so sorry about that. She's gonna be my stack buddy too, so... Oh, oops, I really thought it was Spread. Oops. The amount of times she killed me with that in M2. No, now she gets to deal with it. You know, it's actually a problem when your tank actually plants in your fuck-ups. For a second I was like, were we raiding together? But yeah, we did. But then you had to start beef with Neo, so... How dare you, man. Everyone was having a good time. Besides me getting killed by Neko. I actually completely forgot that was the group. Because I also help people in PF. Like, people Neko knew. Which also sucked ass, but, you know. I think one of them was French, so it made sense. We helped in M2S, and they were both tanks, and I was like, you know, I was playing Dragoon. I was like, why is neither of you using your inborn for a tank buster? And they were like, why should we? That, I didn't say anything else. That told me exactly everything I needed to know about those people. Sometimes it do be funny like that. It's like, okay, I didn't say anything. Do what you must. Can you like not exist on this plane of reality, please? Why they Hawk 2 on me? What? It's early in the morning. I'm sorry if you as a tank don't utilize the fact that you have an invuln button and keep it in just in case. You're not a good tank. Or you're playing warrior in a dungeon or whatever, but you know. If you're a paladin or a gunbreaker in a dungeon and you don't use an invuln, you suck. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I agree with that. It's the same with Dark Knight. Especially Dark Knight, even though, you know, living that still fucking sucks. People can say the buff is good all they want. It sucks. It's bad. It's still bad. It's the exact same as before. Just now, you don't die immediately if your healer sucks. Like, the simple fact you do not keep the self-heal after you cleansed your undead status makes it completely useless again. Great, you were able to recover from 1 back to your full health. Now die again. That's basically how it works. And it's like, why do people think that's good? Like, it's not better than before. It's basically the exact same as before. Like, every time I try to explain that to someone, they're like, what? No, no, Living Dead is so good now. It's like, okay. Play the scenario out with me. Like in a dungeon, you drop to 1 with your Living Dead. You use your AoE, you get back full to health. Status cleansed. You're now unable to die still, drop down to 1. Okay, now the healer is still not healing you and you drop to 1 and the buff expires. You're dead. Now, tell me the difference between that dying and the old Living Dead. Both of those deaths are because your healer's fucked up. There is no difference. But no, it's so good now. It's insane. The heal you get, it's like... It's the exact same when people say, oh, Warrior self-heal is so OP, dude. It's insanely strong. You know, those people never did a Savage. Like in dungeons? Yeah, it's pretty strong, yeah. In Savage? Absolutely useless. Maybe Equilibrium is fine, but Bloodwedding? Please. Yeah, like, it is like slightly better for like server tick stuff. But that's the thing. Right? It's server tick stuff, so that's no one's fault besides the game. And that stuff can prevent it. It's the same what they did with Super Bowlight, right? Oh, it drops you down to 1 and then you get the buff. Why? No! Yeah, that's like the only good thing about the change. Now you either heal them to full or they heal themselves to full and they still keep the quote-unquote invulnerability. So they don't die and you get the full benefit. But it's still like... You still gotta heal them. And that was like, as far as I know, that was the main issue people had with that invuln. Like if you didn't have a White Mage or an Astro, Dark Knight would just perish. Like very early on. It's like, oh, so we got a Scholar and a Sage, huh? Let's not play Dark Knight. That shit was so funny. 2 shield healers and can't fucking get them to full. It's just so sad, man. Yeah, that is true. But then again, you're wasting a crit load just to heal a fucking Dark Knight. Couldn't you have just instead then just used the crit load on him for the Tank Buster and, I don't know, spread it? It's like, let's physic him, yeah. Dude, I think one of the funniest cope I've seen, speaking of Scholar and stuff, is that Beastmaster, the next limited drop, because of course it has to be a limited drop, because Squarenis can't do fucking normal drops anymore. People really thought that that's gonna be a pet drop. Dude, they fucking hate pet drops. Why would we get another one? Like Yoshi P said multiple times, if he could, he would probably just delete Scholar and summon and rework them completely. And they really think we would get another one? Fuck no. 10, 20, 30. Like, Beastmaster is just gonna be another flavor of Blue Mage. I'm just gonna come out and say it. But instead of like having to fight something or having to see the spell, you capture the monster. And then you get to budget summoner that monster for one skill and they do an attack. And then they fuck off again. But you can choose which ones you're gonna take with you. Like, that's all that's gonna happen with Beastmaster. Probably. Yeah, definitely. Wait, 8, 16, 24 sticks. I can keep saying it. I think Stormblood was... Yeah, I'd say early Stormblood maybe, or like early Stormblood, late Heavensward was like peak gameplay. Dude, Time Mage Astro. Man. It was so fucking satisfying. You giving a Dragoon a balance that lasted for almost 90 seconds. Bro. I think early Stormblood was okay. Like, it wasn't the peak. But like late Heavensward, early Stormblood is like where it was probably more so late Heavensward was the peak of the game. I'm so glad I was able to see that. I'm a bit sad that I wasn't raiding for like Gordius. I would have loved to see Gordius, man. Fucking shit on everyone. Fucking Faust. I would have loved to see that. Yeah, the only thing I did was, I think I started A5 a little bit. And... kind of think, what was A6? The robots. I don't think I did the robots. I think I started A5, but was like, I'm alone, I'm in PF. PF sucks, man. Nice. Yeah, I dabbled my foot into Savage with A5, and I enjoyed that. But I had no one to play with, so I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do PF, man, these people suck. I also don't really want to deal with other people, so... yeah, dude. Strength gear on tanks, man. Early Stormblood, and I just got fucking destroyed by Shinryu because they used strength gear. That was so funny. It's like every time you queue in and you see one tank with strength gear and the healer's just like, please, please use vitality gear. Come on, man. That shit was funny. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't know if you remember, but you remember when Protect only gave physical protection on jobs that weren't White Mage? Now that was peak fun. Like, only White Mage would give you magic defense as well. That shit was funny. Yeah, Stone Skin. Wait, when you saw, oh, the Tank Buster's coming, I mean, the Paladin started fucking stone casting on himself. I did that a few times, by the way. Like, that's a free 20% mid, baby. What else am I gonna do with my MP? Oh, Foresight. Oh, increases parry rate by 80%. Or the time when I've really thought that it would be really funny that Paladin can't block magic. Huh? Why? Oh yeah, we have Dark Knight. Paladin doesn't need to block that. Huh? Oh yeah, the intelligence down. Yeah, on Delirium, the Delirium combo. Or, hear me out, Dark Arts. Dark Arts was so good, dude. Like when you had Darkside on, Blood Weapon, dude. Just spam fucking Dark Arts on every single GCT. Besides the first one. Just freaking go nuts, dude. I also liked in the beginning, because of the animation lock, well, not animation lock, but when you started using Dark Arts, there could have been like a slight delay in your buttons. So in case to not have that happen, you would jump during the animation. It's like, huh? Why are we jumping? Oh, so I see. Yeah, that makes no sense, but I'll do it. Now look, the nutrients level for N is not 50 anymore. Yeah, optimizing the game, optimizing any game, let's be real, is so much fun. Which is why I'm a huge fan of like games like Satisfactory. And there is nothing left to optimize. You press your buttons in the correct order. That's the optimization. Thanks, Square Enix. I would say now even a toddler can play the game, but case in point, the samurai I mentioned earlier. Like, I'm seriously confused, right? And I think after you hear me out, you will probably agree with me. How can you play a job, right? And only press like your main rotation and not be like, is this how you're supposed to play this job? Am I doing something wrong? Like, how can you not think like that? Like, you've been pressing 1, 2, 3 the entire time while everyone else is like doing fancy animations. That guy just jumped into the fucking air on Dragoon. I didn't know you can do that. Is that something that does not compute with some people? Like, oh, they said Samurai does so much damage, but I'm below the healer on aggro in the aggro list, which says nothing, but still. It's like, why does that happen? I thought this job is really strong. Yeah, probably. But it's not like, it's not just that guy, but I've seen so many people just treat this game as like a 1, 2, 3 simulator. It's like, dude, you know there's more to the game than just pressing 3 buttons, right? But if you try to mention that, they'll be like, oh, don't you dare try to tell me how to play the game. No, I heard that's just basically another ERP place. Like every time someone says, oh, you know, I'm a mentor and I'm like trying to help people understand stuff, and like, dude, you realize no one's listening, right? Yeah, that makes sense. So I wasn't too far off there. You mean doctored advice like, oh, if you pull mobs, you only have to spam flash. Remember that one? Flash will solve all your problems, my guy. Just keep spamming. Back when Paladin had no AoE rotation. Oh, I hate that. Like, the only reason I still have Q1 on my hotbar is in case I Q as healer and get like a low level dungeon where I don't have Q2. Like, that's such a shit advice, man. Like, that's also something I've been noticing because I have been doing my weeklies for like a few months on healer. And sorry. The amount of times I go in the amount of time I went into like normal raid and trials and never had to cast a single heal because my other healer just spammed every single AoE heal as soon as someone even got scratched is insane. It's like, dude, we lost 500 HP, we still have 50k left. Give it a rest. 500 cure free. No. It's not cure. If it was cure free, dude, they just keep spamming Medica 2 or Expected Helios. Oh, 500 HP lost? Let's apply a regen. Oh, they still lost another 1000. Let's apply it again. It's like, there's still 10 seconds on that, man. You know what a heal over time is? They healed you over time. A wild concept. I mean, to be fair, you know, sometimes it's just the entire regening the entire... No kidding, I had a few of those too. Like, oh, that guy's not full health after my heal, you get a regen. That guy's not full, give that guy a regen. I even saw people using Q1 on the entire party. I'm like, are you not reading what you get when you level up? Hello? Like, I would be like just standing there, casting my damage spells, and I just see Q1. I get a Q1, that guy gets a Q1, the other guy gets a Q1, that guy gets a Q1. I'm like, you know you don't have to heal a healer, right? When I'm healing, I'm not healing my healer. That guy can heal himself. That guy. Why do I need to heal him? He can do that. You don't understand. He needs to save you, my friend. He is the main character. But as much as we rag on the game right now, right? Because it's deserved. They are finally making it so glam is no longer restricted by class or gender. Actually, gender I don't know, but by class, they're removing that. It's only been like... It's of course it's not. It's way too late for that. People have been asking for that for years now. It's like it's too late. People are gone, and you can't just bring them back with something like that. I don't even know why there is a dresser system. Who needs that? Even WoW has that. You got the thing, you can have it as a glam. It doesn't need to be like, oh, well, actually you have to get a glamour prism, then you have to go to the glamour dresser, which has limited space for some reason. Put that in there, make a plate, which you only have 20 of, and good luck. Dude. Oh yeah, glamour prism for Weaver. Glamour prism for blacksmith. Bruh. And then they were like, okay, we're slowly starting to remove those, but we're still keeping them in the game for like way too long, so people can trade those in for the now glamour prisms. Like, okay, I guess. Like, sure, keeping the option there for a while. Sure, that doesn't hurt anyone. But it's like that didn't need to be there for that long, but it's fine. Dude, yesterday I watched the Mr. Happy video. Mind blown. Yeah, but it's like the worst feature in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm like, there are a lot of contenders for that one. Which one does he think is the worst one? It's the duty recorder. You remember that thing is even still in the game? No, the problem is it only works on the newest content. That's the problem. And I'm pretty sure it's... I don't know if it's updated at the moment. And I never used that thing in... Oh yeah, right. It is updated at the moment. For the previous 24-man. Like the very first one. We still got a second one and a new Savage tier. Why is that still the only thing to be able to get recorded? What? It's like... When he showed it, I was like... Are you kidding me? And he went over everything that the duty recorder does, because I'm pretty sure neither of us has ever used that thing before, right? So you can skip chapters, quote unquote, which are only from one fight to the next, basically, which, you know, makes sense. Like, you don't need to record like the trash and stuff, like, who cares? And then you can play it and stop, and yeah, that's about it. You can change perspectives a little bit, like you can, like in G-Post, you can click on different players and stuff, but like, that's about it. You can't even what's the word? You can't rewind the player. So you press play and pause, and you can skip to the next chapter. That's all you can do with that. What a useless piece of junk. Yeah, just use OBS, just stream. Like, use NVIDIA Shadow Play. Anything else but that. Oh, also, every time you want to use it on a poll, you have to ask. Well, everyone gets like a notification that's like, hey, this player wants to record. Are you okay with that? If even one person says no, you're not recording. Great. It actually is. He told me that. He showed that in the video. Well, not the refusing, but he said that's how it works. Like, you get like a ready check and be like, hey, this guy wants to record. If everyone presses yes, countdown begins. Right, like normal pool countdown. If people say no, nah. Also, all your recordings break with a patch. Yeah. You need the consents of everyone, and then the next patch, it breaks. You have to delete their recording. Also, I don't know if you were here last time, but we're about to actually smith something now. Like, that's so stupid. Like, he didn't lie when he said that's the most useless thing we have. Okay. We're now hammering stuff. And the hammer has like heavy hit to smush the material. Move the blocks up, right, down, left, and split them. We currently need to split them because we have trash on it, because it's iron. Right, we gotta expose the iron. Okay. And now that we're almost done. Now that we're done, we have to put the little blocks inside the green squares. Just like the triangle, it goes in the square hole. Damn it, I keep pressing the wrong button. I keep pressing the wrong button, as I said. And everything goes in the square, exactly. Unless a recipe says that it needs more than one ingot, it's always completable. In a very few cases it can bug out, but it usually doesn't. Okay, so now it's like, wait. But there's the holes, how we do that? Simple. By rotating it some more. By putting blocks that are already there over. I actually ruined like 2 bars of iron just because I didn't know that you can actually move them. Also, this works very similar to like actually folding it up. So like this one right here. You'd think, okay, I can't move it up because that square is still there. No, you just put it on top and then you fold it back over. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Now we can just split those. And there we go. We got an iron ingot. Heat it up a little bit again. It's fine. But yeah, we actually have to do that for everyone, but yeah, we can now make like a pickaxe head. I think it's actually fine. Like it looks like ugh. But I think it's only iron where you have to do it for the ingots. I don't know about steel. There's also steel. But so far I've only seen it with iron. Like bronze, copper, tin, you can just smelt that in the small thing. But for iron, you actually have to do it for every ingot. Also, you gotta be very careful with the split. Like, you can actually ruin something if you're not careful. There we go. Like, this is basically as far as I've gotten on my other save. Just that I'm also basically able to make an iron anvil now, but... Nom 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 nom. What, you wanna save like 5 little blocks? Iron nuggets? And yeah. I think with a chisel you can actually chip off blocks from an ingot, maybe? Something like that. I haven't used it because so far I've seen no need to do it. So. I'm also not sure if I even want to make more tools than a pickaxe out of iron. Like right now, in order to upgrade our anvil, we basically have to smith both halves. And that's gonna sound stupid, but we have to kinda glue them together. It's like you're using like a catalyst in between those parts, and then you just hammer them together like that. But both parts of that anvil are 5 ingots each. Which isn't like too bad. But you know, we also have to you can automate this whole process of smithing. But apparently it's not complicated, but it costs a lot of resources to do so. Like I'm just gonna show you like windmill sail, for example. You need like a lot of those. You need linen with offset stitches for that and normal stitches for this. They have to be those, by the way. You make them with flax twine. Okay, sounds easy enough. Which one needs 4 flax fibers? It doesn't sound like much, but that's expensive. Because they only drop like from the flax plants or from this garbage. So, and you also need to have a sewing kit for the square stitches, or the normal stitches or offset stitches and stuff. So yeah. Like I said, and that's the easiest one apparently. But if you make the windmill and like a hammer to make ingots, it's apparently one smash on that thing and it's done. So yeah, I don't know. Probably if you would play it in like a server fashion, I'd say. Like where everyone has like their roads and stuff, and you know, go into like deep RP, and you know, I can see it being kind of useful in like that way. You know, when you have to make like stuff for a lot of people all the time. Or if you wanna be like the very best smith, whatever. Then I can see that maybe being a possibility, but like I'm gonna be honest. I always wanted to do like some, not necessarily RP, like that's I mean that probably can be fun. I'm not denying that. But like just have like a server, friends, and you're really going like, okay, we're gonna do this, but we're gonna assign, or we let people assign themselves like different jobs. Like this guy wants to be a blacksmith, so he's gonna build himself a smithy. Like I know there are tools for that, right? There are ways to do that with mods. Still hot. Like I was on a server once, way back, way back, and they had like this market system. You know, you could get resources, open your own market, and sell them for emeralds. I think it was emeralds. Maybe it was like some server, like coins, whatever. And I know you can do that stuff, right? Or like you trade it for like 1 diamond. And you trade that one for a stack of gold. Very bad deal, but as example. I could see that like for something like this. But it's like, let's say for example, you, Misty, and I start playing this, and for some reason we all decide, let's do that. Someone's gonna be a farmer, the other guy's gonna be a blacksmith, and another person sits in a corner and jacks off. I don't know. And we stick to that. It's like, sure. Like I wouldn't mind an experience like that, but with more than 3 people, obviously. Like make a village with people, or multiple villages, or whatever. Like I always thought something like that could be fun. But you definitely need the right people for that. Like, no, I say that. Like, I was gonna say I don't think Misty would want to do something like that, but I don't know. You probably know him better than me, so it would probably have like an actual theme to it, like in D&D, for example. Like it's not just, oh yes, let's build a little village, but like have like some sort of story with that. yeah, that's something similar to that, but like in a really big scales with way more mods and all that stuff. You know, where it's like could do that. Like you have like, let's go like, you know, a bit way back to like create. Let's say you have someone do like space stuff. Then you have someone who builds railroads to everyone and, you know, stuff like that. And you have people, you have like a bakery, you have, you know, and not just this guy make magic. And this guy make future magic. But like I said, also with like, I don't know, an overarching lore, like a story line, something, you know? It's like, yeah, so let me try to improvise something. So I'll just say it's us three, and we arrive at a, let's just say on a like pre-built village, like from that colony mod. We arrive there and be like, yeah, we're just starting new. We got like banished from the neighboring kingdom for treason. I don't know, and trying to build up our new life, get some revenge on the people that wronged us, and those people could be like another player, right? Stuff like that. Like an actual storyline, basically. Then it's like, okay, let's say, I don't know, we expand on that and we have like, let's just say for the fun of it, let's say we also have Neko, who is actually part of the neighboring kingdom, and she voted for us to get banished, and she was actually one of the masterminds behind all that, and yeah, just as an example. And she does her thing in the neighboring kingdom, and we do ours. We like start building back up our lives and this and that. Well, she's like, I don't know, trying to plan to have us assassinated or something by another player, and you know, go like really deep into that stuff. I always felt like that. It's something that I could enjoy with the right people. But I probably never had the right people to enjoy it with. That's a problem. Like, also for example, my flatmate plays like a version of D&D. It's not like actually D&D, but it's like, you know, you roll dice and whatever. So, and he was like, you know, our DM is always looking for new players. He was like, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I'm like, I don't think I would fit in your group, because they're like, let's just say, they're a bit on the right side. But just a bit. And I really don't think I would fit in that. Like, they're obviously not, you know, making racist remarks all the time and this and that, but like, would I be able to? But also, but like, it was like, yeah, but you know, we're still. He came to me multiple times. You know, we still looking for players and stuff, and I'm like, dude, I told you, I don't think I will fit. Also, your current campaign, which is like a cyberpunk campaign, which is coming to a close soon, I was like, I don't really like that kind of setting. Like I'm not a cyberpunk fan. And it's like, well, you know, after the campaign, it's like back to a fantasy-ish campaign. Like, I'm like, you know what? I'll think about it. Like, I'm not sure if I want to. I don't think I actually can. Now that our raid schedule, quote unquote, no, has been set. Like, they have their sessions on a Saturday, and I'm pretty sure our raid day will be on Saturday as well. So that probably wouldn't work out. But if, like, I know you guys did D&D. A little bit jealous. No, just I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I could see that in the right setting. Sure. Wasn't for you? Yeah, it's not for everyone. Like I said, for me it also heavily relies on like the setting. Like, our friend group tried multiple times to get like a D&D story going. You know, my flatmate Faika and I, and another friend of ours. That was here last time you were here, Dwarf. It was like, first Faika was the DM, which I think he did well. Like, I'll have to bring it up because that shit was so funny. He did like a boss fight against a living armor, and it was like a little puzzle. It was like, oh, in the room there's an orb, and that orb, you know, is smashable, which, you know, we were really cautious about that orb. Like, it's magical, we don't know what it does, why would we break that? And so we while we were examining that, the armor in the room came to life, right? And we trolled him so hard with that. It came to life, and my flatmate was playing like the owl race. So even though it was a crit, it was high enough for him to fly. So we knocked the armor down, like incapacitated it, and my flatmate went, grabbed the armor's helmet, and said, "You guys check the room. I'll just fly up and away from the armor." Because every time the head dropped, it was slowly rolling as an action towards the armor, and when it got to that armor, it would reanimate basically. And we trolled him so hard because it was like, okay, so you grab it, you fly up, make a strength check. Okay, pass the strength check. Well, it sucks to be him. He gets the head. The boss doesn't get back up, and we were still able to. We also didn't really figure out what we have to do. Like, there were no hints for us. He didn't give us any hints until we specifically asked, like, what do we do? Which was, in my opinion, not that good. It's like, I examined the orb. That's a magical orb. Thanks. We checked the room. No hints. Like, okay, what do we do? It's like the entire time my flatmate was flying as far away in a corner from that armor as possible, so the helmet would need multiple turns to even get back. That shit was so funny. The boss couldn't do anything after that. And after the session, I told Pika, like, that kind of sucked for you, didn't it? Like, I would feel triggered by that a little bit. Like, it's all fun and games, but it's like, you design this boss encounter, and then that happens. It's like, I'd feel a little bit bad about that one. That shit was so funny though. Yeah, also, every time I hear my flatmate in his sessions, I'm like... Because he always talks about it afterwards. And I think right now he kind of plays like this wolf girl that's like... kind of a psycho. And... I don't know the full story anymore, but it's like... If one bad thing would happen to her girlfriend, she would just actually go full psycho and kill everyone. For example. It's like, it's ooh. Interesting choice. And before that they had like a Naruto based campaign, which ninjas? No thanks. I'll stick to my space ninjas with Warframe. It was like they had that one before, and before that it was another... It wasn't a fantasy campaign, it was more like a futuristic military campaign. And there was that all sorts of different systems in there. And one of his military character was a Chinese guy named Li Mao. Spelled like this. Li Mao. I actually needed a few moments to realize, oh, it's wordplay on Le Mao. The Chinese hacker? No, that's his brother. Like, the funniest thing also was, like, the way he started joining them for these campaigns was like, he got pinged in that server, and they were like, oh yeah, it was really fun yesterday, we'd like to have you back again. And he was like, dude, wrong person. They had very similar names, and this guy like, wrong person, I was never there. And they were like, oh shit, would you be interested? It's like, okay. That shit was funny. Yeah, speaking of funny things that happened, I don't know if you know the game Foxhole, but it's basically also like a top-down shooter with like the whole military logistics system that you can play into as well and all that. And we were playing that in our friend group, and the funniest thing happened. Like, we met a German guy, and, you know, started talking German, and like, oh yeah, oh, you know, your accent, it's kinda sounding familiar. Are you from this region? Like, the region we are in? It was like, oh, yeah, I am. I'm like from from this little village on the countryside, and one of our friends also lived in there, in that same village. And he was like, ain't no way. And you know, he was like, dude, I lived like at that place, and this, like, are you the guy that lives there? And it was like, I don't want to say because, you know, it's online. And I was like, yo, fair enough. And then later on, that buddy was like, guys, I think that was the Nazi that lives there. The way he said it, I was like, we were like, what? Dude, that shit was like, how small are the odds of that happening, man? It's like, oh yeah, I also live there. No way. Like, you live over there? Nah, okay, that's fine. That shit was so funny. Oh yeah, I live at that place. That place is like maybe an hour car drive away from where we live right now. It's like, funny. That shit was hilarious. Oh yeah, by the way, I lived there. Oh yeah, me too. It's like everyone was sitting there in silence as they talked, and like I was thinking like, unbelievable. Is this really happening right now? That shit was funny. I don't know who you are, that was funny. That's how he said it. Guys, I think that was the Nazi from this place. Ah. I see. It's like, why do you think that? It's like, yeah, he really likes these types of games. And I was like, makes sense. But you can see how small the world is with stuff like that. Like, yeah, that guy's probably a little bit of a mental case because he's a Nazi, but you know. Still funny. I never had something like that happen before either, so it's like, bruh. Yeah, like, what are the odds of that happening even? We need some milk. And by milk I mean firewood. Else crazy. Crazy and fun. Like, we were laughing about it the rest of the evening. It's like, there's no fucking way that just happened. Where's my sword inventory button? Probably shouldn't put away my... I don't know who you are, but that shit was fun. I don't mind talking about personal stuff, by the way. I would never ask someone personal stuff. Like today, on my appointment, there was some deep stuff we were talking about. It has been for the last few weeks, which is fine. You know? And at some point, I was like, he was listing some positive things and negative things, and I'm like, at one of those points, I was like, I don't want to interrupt, but I do have a question, because sometimes, like, for some reason, when I sleep and I start dreaming, I, for some reason, dream about my ex. Yeah, crazy bitch. And it's like the dreams, it's nothing special. It's like I'm still living there and all that. I was like, could that be something about what happened there? While I was talking, he was already nodding. I'm like, okay. Like in my subconscious, I'm like something must still not compute somehow, because I don't want any contact with her anymore. Fuck no. And he was like, yeah, it's because the breakup didn't end on like a more positive side. I was like, okay. Like, kind of makes sense, yeah. That dude I have the appointments with, by the way, super chill guy. Even likes Yu-Gi-Oh card. No, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, makes sense, I guess. And like he was explaining, like if you know, like it was like, well, I'll just say he's like a coach, and he deals with that kind of stuff, like helping people find their way towards through life and all that garbage. And he's actually the first guy. It's like doesn't sound like a little charlatan. And he was like, yeah, it's because your comfort zone, because it was a messy breakup. Your comfort zone, even though now you say it's a good thing, your comfort zone still took a hit and got smaller. I'm like, I was thinking about that, because I then also answered like he asked me, do you know why? I was like sitting there thinking for a moment and be like, probably because in my subconscious it's probably something like, it's always gonna be there, that it's what if it happens again in my next relationship? What if this happens again? What if that happens? I was like, yeah. I was like, so what do what do I do? And it's like you really have to go. Like this sounds so corny, right? And like you really gotta go inside of you and think about why it's not a bad thing that happened. Like your subconscious clearly thinks it's a bad thing that happened, because you know, let's be real, it was. The whole relationship was kind of a bad thing, as it turned out. And he's like, once you start thinking about how, you know, not everything has to be a negative experience, right? Like he gave an example of if you deal with someone who's always like pulling you down. Of course, your first reaction is, that's a bad guy, that's a bad person, that's a bad experience I'm currently experiencing. And it's like, instead of thinking it like that, think about it as like a learning experience. And be like, that guy isn't a bad person to me. That guy's actually a teacher to me. That person is teaching me something right now. Like, he's teaching me that, I don't know, that he likes to kick me in the shin for some reason. And I don't like getting kicked in the shin. I'm learning that right now. Because, you know, likes gets kicked in the shin. It was... I forgot the example he did, but that's basically the one I came up with right now. Like, you gotta think about it, these things in like... Obviously, they're bad things. Right? It's not like bad things don't happen. Bad things happen all the time. But it's what you make out of those bad things that are important. Like he also gave the example, like, I don't know if you've seen those shorts where it's like some stupid inspirational quote about something that someone said or whatever. And he said, that might be a good quote or whatever, but it's missing the context of the quote. So, great, you learned that this guy said that, but you can't connect that with something. That's useless information to you now. Like, it sounds stupid, but that it makes sense. I also don't watch those kind of YouTube shorts or whatever, but I get what he was putting down. Say it like that. That guy is actually a really cool dude. The funniest thing also was, you know, when it first started, I was like, I was supposed to list off like some things about me, like I'm like the phone here. Maybe I can. You know, something like I'm really bad at saying no. So I'm always saying yes, basically. And that kind of stuff. I was supposed to like write on there, and I was like, yeah, I'm wrote on and like I'm a collector, and it was like, oh, something specific, like anything. I was like, yeah, I collect cards, and he's like, oh, what kind of cards? And I, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and he was really, me too. And I was like, started talking, and he said that once like the appointments are like on the last appointment, he wants to actually play around with Yu-Gi-Oh against me. That's also funny. In these kinds of like projects, smoke him, I probably will, because he only knows the old cards. Like in those kind of projects that you are getting forced into when you don't have a job here, I feel like it's almost important to have people like that as like your coaches and stuff. Because I don't care about Joe Schmo over there that was like just talking to me and be like, yeah, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, come on, we'll do this next time. It's like, that's not productive. But if it's someone that's like more relatable and more empathetic, I should say. Like they can all say like, oh yeah, we care about you. It's like, we really do. I hate these projects. But it's like, that's not even the worst part about them. Let's be real. Like, the worst part about them, in my opinion, is that I have to go to like these group appointments. And it's like, oh, you have to go to these. That way you socialize with other people and you be able to do this and do that. And I told them like more than once that I do not care about the other people. I said it in their face. I was like, I don't want to associate with those people. Like, it's not anything personal or anything. I just don't care. They're like, well, we get that, but you still have to. I'm like, great. Yes, I have to then. The reason I brought that one up is yesterday I had one of those useless seminars again. It was about if you don't move your body enough, you know, it's bad for your bones and all that stuff, you know. Useless shit you already know. And I did not participate in any group stuff at all. I never do in these things. Like, for me, it's, I'm there, I get questioned, I answer. We have to write down something, I'll write it down. But don't talk to me. Just leave me alone. And yesterday, what I was going for. Yesterday I had another one with like, you know, the moving and whatever the fuck. And you know, she was reading off a script because, you know, they always do. Because they have to prepare. And she was like listing all sorts of stuff that moving your body prevents, you know, like I don't know the English words for this, osteoporosis or whatever, you know, where bones slowly start to calcify. It prevents that, it can prevent certain types of cancer, it can prevent this, it can prevent that. And after that, she handed us a paper with 2 questions. The first one was basically, what does moving prevent? Or how is it healthy for you? I looked at that and thought to myself, she just said all of these things. I'm not writing that down again. And the second one was, how can you move your body more in your daily life? I'm like, you really want me to answer that? So I left the paper blank. I didn't write down anything. I was just sitting there, you know, like the quote-unquote finger pose, you know, with the hands crossed in front of your face and like, looking down on the paper. At some point she was like, nothing? You don't know anything about how? And I was like, I didn't even give a proper response. I was like, And later on, during all that, you know, 3 people next to me yapping nonstop. They just keep talking. They interrupt her sometimes and then keep going and do this and do that. And near the end, I was able to glance at the attendee list, you know, who's there and who's not. And after my name, legit, she wrote, does not engage. So I was like, okay. And today, my coach was like, oh, actually, no, I got a note, I think, about you. I'm like, oh no, it's about yesterday, isn't it? He looked at me like, what happened yesterday? I explained it to him. He was like, no, she wouldn't. She would at least like somewhat, you know, put it in a nicer way and actually let me check. And he looked and was like, there actually is a note about that. I was like, well, it was like, he was reading it to me and it's like, yeah, he did engage in the seminar itself, but he didn't engage in any group conversations or anything. And I looked to my coach and was like, I'm not engaging to people that just yap constantly about all kinds of random stuff, and like I have no interest in that. He was like, you don't have to. Like, that's okay, you don't have to do that. And I was like, why did she write it down then? Like, but yeah, never at any point have they told us that we have to actively engage in what's happening. The only stipulation is be there. Like, you actually have to like make the appointment yourself to be there. You have to do one per week. It's forced on you. You have to do that. And if they were complaining about me not engaging, I was like, I'm here. That's all I have to do. Leave me alone. I would set that in their face. Like I hate that I have to do those things. Like I told my coach, like I would much rather have 2 days with you than having a single day in those shit seminars. And they're always such useless and boring themes too. Like next week is a seminar with that my coach does, and it actually was something that came up today. And he looked at me and was like, I have a seminar about that next week. You want me to book you into that? Then we don't have to talk it right now, we'll just do it then. And I was like, if we can put our appointment right now, our appointment that we usually have, to the day before or after that one, sure, I don't mind. Because I always plan like that. I feel like we're not allowed to have the seminar and the coaching appointment on the same day, which is stupid. But, you know. I always plan like, just get it over with in one go. Don't like, oh, I have it on a Monday, so I booked a seminar on a Thursday. Don't leave gaps. Just one and done it, get it over with. Like, it's a Thursday today, was my appointment, so I booked the seminar yesterday. There are no Friday ones. Otherwise, I might have done Friday, but yes. So I told him like, if it's before or after our next appointment, sure, why not? He was looking, I was like, yeah, I can do Monday. I'm like, okay. Monday is like, well, Monday, but you know, whatever. And he was also like, yeah, it's an online seminar, you know, so if you don't want to come in, I'm like, oh, okay, online, not bad, not bad. Then he looked, but you can also come in person and do it. Hey, I'm talking. he was like, okay, but you can also come in person. Then he looked at the list and was like, can you do me a favor? I just saw that every person is coming in person. Can you do me a favor and also come in person? I'm like, fine. It's like, I don't want to be an asshole. It would have been a bitch move to be like, no. But like I said, I like the guy, so I was like, fine. The funniest thing also was, you know, with like the YouTube shorts with the quotes and all that, it was like, the negative thing was like content, and the positive opposite of that was context. You know, like you're missing the context with all that and all that. And he looked at me and was like, what content are you consuming on a regular basis? I was like, YouTube. Like, when I'm playing, YouTube is running. Usually. Unless I'm streaming. And he was like, yeah, that would have been my second guess for you. I looked at him like, what would have been your first? It's like, yeah, I thought you were like a Reddit user kind of guy. I looked at him and said, now I am insulted. Yeah, I just looked at it like, now that's insulting. It's like, oh, yeah, it's over. New coach, it's fine. I'm like, damn. I thought you said I was like kind of smart, and now you're comparing me to a Reddit user? Come on, man. You know what I'm wondering? Could I just throw the flower in here? No. Makes sense. Come on, man. Why you insulting me all of a sudden, man? We had such a good thing going here. Who's this guy? What's my weapon? You better run, bitch. Imagine getting called a Reddit user. Life ruined. I should have asked him, like, what gave you that impression? Like, Reddit is a fucking cesspool of idiots. And may I even say, I'm gonna say the R word, full of retards. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I told my flatmate too, and he was like, yeah, I always knew you were a fucking Reddit user. I'm like, how fucking dare you? I think there's almost no bigger insult than calling someone a Reddit user nowadays. That shit was crazy. Yeah, but all things aside, my appointments with the coach actually do help. That's why I said I'd much rather have more appointments with you than the fucking seminars I have to go to. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. The time. Yeah, probably a good idea to stop soon. Just gonna bake a little bit more, yap some more. That guy is also a book author. Okay. Did I find something like? Runs its own website. Damn. What are the books he has? Jack Moraine, The Door to the Abyss. What website? The whole website is in German. Otherwise I would have linked it, but don't see an English option. Yeah, I don't know, Jack Moraine. I have not heard of that before. Dude, I'm currently not in a tab, but that guy is also a gamer. He likes Resident Evil. It's like he came to one of the appointments with like a t-shirt that had RPD on it. And at some point I was like, just a random question, but is that from Resident Evil? I'm like, yeah. And you want to know what it stands for? I'm like, Raccoon Police Department. That guy is like, he said he has like at least 400 physical games in his library. Like, he said he was collecting since he was 8. Let me check real quick. Contact, yeah, I'll contact. Rain. 7 years ago. Crazy. Jack Moraine. Doesn't look right. I was even born in this area. Just like me. Just like me for real. $20 ratings, 4.9. Must be a decent book. Must be only on English, in German now. Oh well. Wait. Ebook, EPUB, English. Ah, it's German as well. Yeah, it's only in German. Yeah. I don't know. I'll give it a read at maybe some point. Funnily enough, he never advertised this book. Like, the only thing he said was like, I'm a book writer. Like, he says this like every now and then, but he's never like, this is my book, that's what I did, that's my achievements and all that. He did bring it up once. Write books? Is it some ERP for Neko? Or... Yeah. But you're beyond that, Stevie. God damn it. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's... You know, I wrote a few books in my life. No, but he said like, he always wanted to make it big as an author, and instead he made it big as a coach and something like that. It's like, you know, he was like, I'm a little bit sad about that, but I can't complain. Yes. Author, by the way. Usually people are like somewhat successful, be like, oh yeah, I read books, and oh, and have you read this? Yeah, that's by me. No. It's never like, yeah, I read a few books. Like, the funny thing was that what he said, like, the place where his office is at the moment was like usually like a place where teenagers and stuff came to meet and, you know, get some help for school and all that, you know, something like that. And he said one of his colleagues, back then they were like a little bit of a disarray, like they're, you know, it was mismanaged a bit because they had no real leadership. And one of his colleagues said, I want to make it my goal to help those people. I got this quality, I got that, this and that. Never did anything. And my coach was like, he always, when he had the free time, came over and helped. So at some point, the people over there said, we want you as our leadership. It was like, he couldn't say no to something like that. It's like, he was already helping them, so why not? I was like, that's like the difference between, like, he wanted to do that. That was his goal. But he didn't do anything for it. Meanwhile, for him, he didn't care. He just wanted to do it because he liked it. He wanted to do it. Which is funny. Yeah, okay. Time. Way too late for me to still be yapping. I'm also getting tired. I may have slept more than yesterday, but I still haven't slept a lot. So I'm gonna end it here. Tomorrow. Alright, tomorrow. I'm not sure if I can stream tomorrow if we are going to the Christmas market. I probably won't be able to, so. But Saturday I'll stream it. Okay. So, Saturday, we'll pick back up here with... Sorry. Probably getting more iron. Get like the anvil and stuff. Maybe start thinking about grabbing animals, maybe? Oh. Yeah. Anyways. Rustwood, I would need to actually make armor, and just for a little let's say I want to make chain body armor of tin bronze. So, tin bronze chain, not too bad. Body leather jerkin. Yeah. That's a bit more expensive and a little bit more, like, armor crafting is insanely detailed with the shit you need. It's insane. You actually need to prepare the leather. It's... wow. Yeah, probably not. And then again, if you wear it, you get hunger quicker. Like... But yeah, that's that, and that's now, and now we're stopping. Thanks so much for watching, and have a lovely rest of the evening. Bye bye.